We were flown out then in C-47s, flown back to Reims, France, where we were put into an assembly area, and there we were given a pep talk by General Eisenhower. And they fed us then in a way that they should not have. They gave us peaches, canned peaches, cottage cheese, a lot of stuff we shouldn't have had right off the bat. And everybody got diarrhea. And so we backed off of that and stayed there for a couple of days, and then they put us in a train, and we were taken to Camp Lucky Strike.
They had camps set up on the coast of France named after cigarettes. Our camp was Camp Lucky Strike, and there we were processed. They de-allowed us. They took our clothes away from us, and we fitted out with new uniforms and gave us a typical military physical exam. And they touch you. If you're warm, you pass.
We were trucked to a little airfield, not too far from Moosburg. I really don't know the name of it, but we were there for 2 or 3 days, I guess, before they got everybody out. But we were ferried out of there in Goonibirds or C-47s over to France. And we were in a camp there, and Camp Lucky Strike, Camp Chesterfield, and all those.
We were in a place called Camp Lucky Strike, which was for a kind of a transit camp for people wanting to be discharged and one thing and another, and you had to have 50 points to be discharged. Hell, I had 500, so I could get discharged. I could go to the top of the list. But I got so sick that from dysentery and eating when I wasn't used to it, that I got down to about 89 pounds, and I couldn't walk. People had to bring me food from the mess tent, which was about 20 feet away.
Now, all ex-PWs, American prisoners of war, were sent to Le Havre, France, at a camp called Camp Lucky Strike, and I guess there got to be about 80,000 of us there. I remember General Eisenhower came through and apologized for not being able to get us home quickly, but war was on in the Pacific, and we had to wait till they transferred all the people to the war fronts there. So we were at Le Havre probably 6 weeks, 5 or 6.
And that's where Eisenhower come out and stood up on the stand there, and I can still see him there, and just his open collar and everything, and here's 4-star general, and he's thanked us for being strong while we was prisoners and all this kind of stuff, and how important we were to the war. And then he came down into the crowd and shook hands and everything else, just a regular old soldier.
Some of the B-17s from my outfit in England came over and landed, and they were looking for their buddies, see? And of course, when the 97 pilots found me, and so I just got in a damn airplane and went back to England. And they told us before I did that, they said, that's not an easy way home. You get home a lot quicker if you stay here. I thought, I don't care, I don't want to get home. I want to gain back some health, some weight. So I went to England, and I borrowed all the money I could. You could borrow $75 from a chaplain. I used up every chaplain in England. And when I got to where I couldn't get no more money, they put me on a damn boat and sent me home.
I was interned at Camp Lucky Strike for about 3 weeks. They had a controlled mess hall. You could only get X amount of food. You couldn't get a full amount. And then they gradually let you eat more and more. And after about 3 weeks, they give us another exam, and those of us who were fit were put on a boat and sent home.
I came back on a Liberty ship, and we zigzagged back across the ocean. They figured that there might be some fanatic submariners out there they know that would take a shot at us. So they were doing the evasive maneuvers. And I don't know why, but we went down to Trinidad and then back up the coast.
And I was told that I was in the first batch of troop ships that went back home without a convoy, without an escort from destroyers, that they had cleared the submarine wolf packs completely. By this time, you know, Hitler was dead. May 8th, he was dead. He died, I think it was April 30th. And May 8th, the war was over. And this is now the 1st of June before we got moved out of there, out of Mooseburg. And they had cleared the seas enough that they could let ships go back now without a destroyer escort. They said, you're in the first bunch of ships going back on their own. Cross your fingers. Hope they got all the subs. I hope all the subs got the information that the war's over.
And I saw the good old Statue of Liberty there. I can remember it was pulling into the harbor. The ships were blowing their horns, and evidently they knew we were prisoners or something. When we were debarking off of the ship, they had a band out there and a bunch of civilians. And God, it was what a feeling, you know.